That's what gives us that pride and dignity, brings it back. But our children don't have that. We don't get it inside of the school system. When we sit down and tell our children that in rites of passage, a lot of times, I'm give you an example. There was one little sister in rites of passage. We are gender specific. The men teach the boys and the women teach the girls. But I remember I was doing a co-ed class one time, and I was telling them about ancient Kemet, what they call ancient Egypt. And I was telling about some of the things that we were able to do. You know, she was raising, and we tell us none of that stuff. As Walimus inside of our program, you gotta teach that kind of stuff to our children, make them understand that we. That's what we come as Walimus. That's what we come to give them. We come to give them pride and dignity in what they people have done, so we can be proud of ourselves. So we don't have to worry so much about, I look like an African. You damn right you look like an African because you are an African. We need to start acting like we Africans because African people were great. We still are great, but we're not recognized as being great. At one point, everybody knew we was great. In fact, people came from all over in Europe. Look at these folks, man. They got to be gods, or they got to be God's chosen people. It was right on both accounts. So we got to make sure that our children understand that kind of stuff when we come in here and teaching them. And that means erase the fact that they took our culture away from us. Our culture, inside of culture, all kinds of things are in there. History is one of them. And when we do the whole piece around culture inside of the organization, you would see just how deep culture goes. But we got to establish the understanding of African culture inside of our children because that's what made us great. And we keep saying we're going to be great again. And I keep saying if we're going to be great again, we better look at what made us great in the first place. And I'm convinced that it was our culture, it was our spirituality, it was our principles and values. That's what made us great. And when we get back to that, get back to operating and conducting ourselves in that manner, that's when we're going to be great again. And we got to keep that in mind as teachers, as Walimus inside of our organization. I'm an African. We want folks coming out of there knowing African traditions. The main one is I am because we are. And because we are, therefore I am. And we always say, and shall be. I am because we are. What I have become is only because of what my people have done for me, what they have given me as I was going on my journey. And as long as when I get to where I'm at, I continue to give back to my people, we're going to continue to exist. I am because we are. And because we are, therefore I am. We got to make sure that our children understand that and begin to practice that at all times. So tradition, African tradition is going to be important for us. Let's do that because our people right now are so sick. But we got part of what we got to do is promote excellence and responsibility. Can you imagine if we were there and it prevents the radiation. One atmosphere is causing the Earth's environment to change. And folks saying, so you want me to shut the factory in harmony laws of nature? So that's what our spirituality got to do. Now, to elect, and let me arrive safely. And Ogun protect me. He said, no, you're not all right. He said, we just looked, the blood sugar level is low. We taking you. And so I said, okay. But when I got in there, I looked at the car and it was crunched around the pole was sitting here and the car was crunched around the pole. I'm thinking, hi. And I got 11:05. One little example. When I was a little guy in school and stuff, I was certain tenants. A lot of stuff in there. Gone. And you got to know whether or not you hitting these youth with it. I got to the point, I've been doing this stuff for 30 years. I got to the point where I could look in a boy. Again, I tell you how we do. And he looked at me like, Bob Curry, what you gonna do? And I'm like, damn, his daddy didn't pay attention, his mama smoking crack and selling her ass, and his grandmama sloppy drunk. He ain't got nothing. There he is right there. And I'm, what he looking at. getting the faith doing, you was getting the point across to it. He said, this is not a little speech, but a little kind of a rap that I used to do about I am a Walimu, African teacher is what I am. The guerrilla teachers that they had to study under, Hippocrates was said, and love for African youth in particular and African people in general. We might find something else for you to do, but you ain't getting in front of my kids. Now, see, I had to put it that way. Come on up. The end of your program, the end of you dealing with youth is over. You ain't doing it no more. So you got to really be careful. We take them on weekend, excursions so we can get them away from society and do some intensive teaching with them. You got to make sure you ain't sleeping in the same room with them. You ain't got to make sure you ain't showering at the same time they shower. You got to make sure all of that kind of stuff, it's just part of what you have to do, what your character has to do. And if you're a child molester, goddamn, I don't have no patience with folks who misuse children. I've been working with so many people's children all these years. Well, if you ain't doing nothing, if you're doing something that harm children, you're an enemy of mine. Well, anyway, that one is really important. That you got to become the master teacher. I'm gonna move on down. Look at the last one. That you got to be a soldier, and that you are always ready to go to war for African people, but also. Let's see, we got to make a distinction between the warrior and the soldier. The warrior is ready to go to war anytime, any place, against anybody. The soldier is ready to go to war anytime, any place, against anybody, but he's also willing to take orders. That's the real difference. Sometimes the warrior be meaning with these sessions, but pedagogy is the science of teaching. How do we teach? And then those questions, why do we need to teach in this particular way? Well, all of the stuff that we talked about that's happening to our people tells us why we got to teach this way. Who is at the center of this kind of a movement? The Mwalimu is at the center. Because Mwalimu is the liaison between what we're teaching and the children, what we're teaching and the household the child comes out of, what we're in the community that surrounds the child, what we're teaching, and the world African community. The Mwalimu is at the center of that. So that's the who. The what, let me deal with the how first. The how, comes out of how do we go in the community that surrounds the child, what we're teaching in the world African community, what we're teaching in the world African community. The Mwalimu is at the center of that. So that's the each other. But the what, back to let me do the how first. My mom is comes out. How given to these development community. This ain't work. The who, knowing who we are and what our is. Let's try this. So the curriculum is an ongoing kind of a thing. It's always changing, always moving forward. So a lot of that this years ago, I don't even think about it no more. Work the who, knowing who we are and what our is. Let's try this. So the curriculum is an ongoing kind of a thing. It's always changing, always moving forward. So a lot of that this ain't even think about it no more. Work the who, knowing who we are. Curriculum. So that's what pedagogy is about. And again, we're going to do a whole piece on pedagogy in one of these sessions coming up. There's something about the. Okay, look at number 4. Number 4 says you must be some African culture so much different from other. Now, the culture is really a deep kind of a piece. And we got to understand African culture if we're going to teach it. And we can't afford to teach it the wrong way. We got to know what it is so that we can teach it the right way. Because everybody's looking at us and people are saying, it don't make no difference. I've heard people say, it don't half step on that kind of stuff. We got to know exactly what we are teaching these children and that it is culturally sound and that we're teaching them correctly. So just look at these things. Look at all of them. I got 11:25. Look at all of these things in the characteristics of the Walimu, and know that. That's why I got to. We're gonna go through all of it. We're gonna make sure that we put it all out. But you got to be the only person that knows that they know this stuff is you. You know when you got it, and we just want to make sure that you have that kind of feeling inside. I got this, so it's coming. All right. I do want to look at the levels of the Walimus. That one is in there too. It'll say levels of instructors because we've already talked about them pretty much. The master teacher. The master levels of instructors.
I had a 10.1.
Okay. Yeah, it should be right before that one. I am that master teacher knows what he or she has, knows the curriculum that they're teaching, and know how to get it across to the path. Like, shake that ass, girl. You will not see that, because that is not how I live. Because that's what I'm teaching to them is what they got to know. If I say, don't be out there using drugs and stuff in public. When I talk about drugs and alcohol and stuff, I would say, especially to the grown folks like we sitting here, man, I ain't got no problem with you who want to do, as a grown person, wanting to do what you do. You sitting and watching the game, drink you a beer, smoke you a joint, whatever you do. Ain't no problem. When you come in front of the kids, you come correct. I don't know, liquor on your breath. Some of y'all, the blues singer B.B. King, he made a song. He said, I love to live the life I sing about in my song. Yeah, all right. My thing is, I love to live the life I teach about in my class. That's what the guerrilla teacher got to do. Look, if I come up in here to teach, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it because I know how to do it. I'm going to do it because I got the guts to do it. And I'm going to be growling and howling all the while I'm doing it. Let you know I know what I'm doing. That's the guerrilla teacher. We need to move briefly. How are they supposed to teach? Now, we is what they got to know. If I say, don't be out there using drugs and stuff in public, and learn about education. But we also know that once you go to the white folks' schools and you want to come out and you want to do stuff the way the white folks told you to do it, we do like folks with those kinds of skills because we can change those skills to become African-centered and to take the skills that they have, turn it into something they can use to present that curriculum and go out there and teach them kids. I love the Jenga. I like the college education. I ain't coming down. I got a degree myself. But I love the Jenga. That's where I move, so I like the Jenga. So if you ain't got no college degree, don't worry about it. And the children, they look at it, from the standpoint they know when you faking it, and when they find you faking it, they go for the juggler vein, man. They don't be playing. I'm saying I ain't got no problem with you who want to do, as a grown person, wanting to do what you do. You sitting and watching the game, drink you a beer, smoke you a joint, whatever you do. And Jenga, come in front of the kids, you come correct. I like them that came out of this struggle and understand what's going on. That's what the guerrilla teacher got to do. Look, if I come up in here to teach, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it because I know how to run in there. That we call it Jenga. And there's a piece of education at the same time. But we also know that once you go to the white folks' schools and you want to come out and you want to do stuff the way the white folks told you to do it, we do like to become African-centered and to take the skills that they have, turn it into something they can use to present their curriculum and go out there and teach them kids. I love the Jenga. I like the college education. I ain't coming down. I got a degree myself. We got to do what we got to do. So I like the Jenga. So if you ain't got no college degree, don't worry about it. And the children, they look at it, from the standpoint they know when you faking it. And when they find you faking it, I think that the Jenga, they go for the juggler vein, man. They don't be playing. So and there's a particular at the same time. And we also know that once you go to the white folks' schools and you want to come out and you want to do stuff where the white folks told you to do it, we do like to become rats and roaches and stuff like that. And this sister, I forget where she was from, somewhere up on the East Coast, and she said, I just can't believe people still got rats and roaches in their house. And I was like, damn, you know, the person that come out of that. You know, so I like the Jenga. You know, so you ain't got no college. I told one sister, I said, look, do me a favor, just ride through Winton Terrace. You ain't got to roll the window down, turn your air conditioner off. Just ride through and look at the conditions that our people are living in. You'll see. You know, it's gonna blow you up, but you'll see it. The Jenga, you ain't got to do that. You know, they done already walked through that. They done been through it. They done done it. You know, they done had to eat that welfare stuff. But anyway, those are the three levels of teaching. We want to become that guerrilla teacher. You got to become the master teacher first, then you become the guerrilla teacher. And whether you are a university trained or whether you're a Jenga, you can still be an excellent mwalimu inside of the rites of passage process. That is important. Now let me hit the 10-point program, then I'm gonna open it up for questions. The 10-point platform. I don't know, that might sound familiar. I spent a lot of time with the Black Panther organization, Black Panther Self-Defense Organization in Dallas, Texas. When I first got out of the military, I was in Texas, and I stayed there I was working on what we then called the Free Angela Davis Committee. And I did not actually join the Panther Party, but I was working so close when I had a chance to see how a revolutionary organization worked. So when I finally came back, I went to school down there too. When I finally came back to Cincinnati, I was saying, no, it's got to be a revolutionary organization. And I became a part of what was called the All African People's Revolutionary Party. And Stokely Carmichael then, he became Kwame Ture. He was one of our main organizers. But from what the Panthers used to call the 10-point party, information with you. You never know when you're going to come up on somebody. You might, hey, check this out. What you think about that? I used to have a brother used to get on the bus early in the morning, the first bus. He would get on the bus. Ain't nobody on the bus. He'd put papers on all the seats, and then he'd ride the bus. And then when people start getting on the bus, they pick the paper up and start reading it. And they'd be looking around. He said, hey, what you think about that? Then he'd start the conversation with him on that. That was Brother Greg used to do that. But always, understand that the whole world is your classroom. Wherever you at, that's where you teach at. And just teach. That's what you got to do. Always give them something to consider later. That's why I say carry something with you, keep something with you that you can just give to folks. Give them something to look at later. You must want to teach. You gotta develop that deep drive, that thirst to want to. We doing the stuff online. Cadence will tell you, when we start talking about doing that, I was like, man, I want to see folks. I told him, I said, I want to smell their breath. I want to know that they right here because I get that energy from folks when they come. See, and that's from wanting to teach. If you teach into the box, it's kind of like you turn into a robot or something, but not really. But you got to want to teach. You got to develop that thirst to want to teach. And the more you teach, the better you get. So you just got to keep on doing it. Ain't nobody saying, you're going to jump out there and right off the top, you're going to be teaching. Everybody going to be saying, damn, I learned so much. You're going to make some mistakes. The more you do it, the better you get. You got to keep on teaching. There's no shortcut for studying the material to be taught. maybe 90% of being able to teach is being ready to teach, knowing your stuff. And you got another maybe 10% is being able to use your particular skills to get it in there and do it. And the other 10% is getting energy from your students. But man, the biggest thing is to be ready. You always got to be ready, and being ready means I know what I'm teaching and I know what I'm getting ready to take them to. I used to do a thing with the boys, and it was around sexual responsibility. I know what I want to teach on that. A lot of stuff you can't do when you're teaching that. But a lot of times the boys, they want to get into something else when you start talking about sexual responsibility. Okay, how you make a holler? Oh, Lord. Boy, I'm not here teaching technique. But you deal with it. Cause that's what makes them know you real. You deal with them, and you deal with them in such a way that you quickly get back to where you wanted it to be. Because you in charge of the whole thing. When you know what it is you're teaching, you know where they coming from. You got to make sure you steer them back on path. Because if you let them, they will take you in places you never been before. And next thing you know, they'll be teaching the class. You be sitting up there with your mouth open. I didn't know that. But just be prepared. Always be ready to learn. That's the next thing. I come to the classroom as a teacher and as a student. Because you be learning some stuff from, and I'm telling you, youth have taught me some stuff that I didn't know coming in there. They showed me, I ain't just talking about with the language that they use or the clothes and stuff that they wear. I'm talking about basic living. That because everything is the same from now that's going on now that was going on when I was their age, but they deal with it in a different way, and the responses to them is different. Now they got to deal with all kind of to learn. Be ready to teach, but be ready to learn too, and not only from the youth, but you got to study. You got to. I mean, in everything. I mean, I used to look at so much books and. I used to do a radio program called African Perspective on the News. I did community radio, WAIF. I did it for 27 years. And I was always collecting papers, periodicals, magazines. And my wife was saying, you are a fire hazard. You got to get some of that shit out of here. but it was, yeah, but it was all about studying. You gotta continue to study. We push study because the way you grow is to learn more. And even though there's a number of ways to get information now, it's still good to crack open a book and get down in that, you know. So we gotta just study. Always, when you're getting ready to teach, always have an objective for your class. Know exactly what you want to get across to the students during that particular session. In your mind, you say, these students will learn. So when I give y'all the curriculum, I'm going to give you the first year of the curriculum, maybe the next to the last session. And you'll see that it always starts out with objectives. Students will learn so and so and so, so and so and so and so. That particular class, you come in saying, all right, this is what I'm teaching today, and this is what I want them to come out of that knowing. So you got to have an objective for your classroom. Have a plan for reaching that objective. You lay out your flow from beginning. Now, I'm saying they're going to always try to take you somewhere else, but you got to bring them back on track because you done laid out your whole thing. Number one down there says figure in icebreakers. Icebreakers, sometimes you're going to come to your class and them youth going to be bubbling. They're going to be ready. What we doing today? What okay with you? And sometimes you can come in there and it's going to be, hey, what y'all doing? Y'all dead on me today? Now you got to come up with what we call icebreaker. You know? And sometimes it's just a game or something. We can get them going. A friend of mine, Kimmy Moyo, she used to make kids get up and do jumping jacks and stuff. You know, and while they're doing jumping jacks, she said, I want y'all to do jumping jacks. And while you're doing jumping jacks, try to give a high five. But it turned into a little game. They couldn't do it, and they was fumbling around with it and stuff. And so now everybody woke. Now, all right, let's get ready to learn, you know. So you got to make sure that you kind of break the ice if it need to be broken. If they're already thriving, ready to go ahead with them. Proverbs. You'll notice when I give you the curriculum that every topic has a proverb to it. We try to use proverbs because that was one of the ways that the ancients used to teach. Proverbs. And that's some of the ways that our people continue to use to teach. I know my mama used to always, more my daddy, but they used to say, hard head make a soft ass. Well, you didn't really have to go through no class to know they were saying, if you don't do what I told you, I'm going to tear that butt up. You so we use those kinds of things. There's a proverb that says, "The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people." Now, what we'll do is we'll present the proverb of the day. Present it to them. Ask me what you think that means. They tell you, all right. Now I'm gonna teach on it. We do the class. Then after we do the session, come back to the proverb. Now, what do you think that proverb means? Now you hear differences in what they're saying now because you did the teaching. Now you knowing that your objective you was getting across. So there's a lot of ways to get that across. I also like to use some kind of test, something to find out if you got across what you was trying to get across. Again, the dramatization, class participation, changes in direction. A lot of times the youth bring about the changes in direction, but it says you got to work to make sure you bring it back. Teaching aids. Use teaching aids. A lot of times we like to use videos. Don't show them a movie. Get a clip out the movie to kind of show what it is you teaching that day. This is it. We got one out of Roots. The first Roots thing, it breaks down the whole rites of passage process of Kunta Kinte. From the time he was born, through him having chores to do as a little boy, to him going through the manhood training, where they put the thing over his head and took him away to manhood training. The whole piece was right there. We showed him that when we was talking about rites of passage and said, this is what you go through. The only difference between what they call initiation in Africa and rites of passage is that they had the wherewithal to completely separate the youth from the community. They took them off somewhere to teach them. For boys, that means taking these boys away from their mama. I ain't got no thing against y'all mothers sitting here, but man, boys, mothers do a really good job raising boys till they get about 11, 12. Y'all do good and teach them how to. I watch them when they be potty training kids, when they be teaching kids how to put a zipper together and zip it out. They can teach all that stuff. But when a boy get 11, 12, stuff started happening to him, that means he turning into a man. And that is something that the women never did. And they really don't know how to deal with that stuff. That's why the man got to kick in right there. So I'm taking you away from this community, away from your mama. And a lot of times, and we say stuff, I say stuff, ain't no disrespect to mothers, but a lot of times boys be sitting there, I say, look, let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all come in here trying to trick me. I said, I ain't your mama. You can't trick me. Everything you doing, everything you want to do, everything you dream about doing, everything you wish you could do, I done it 1,000 times. You can't fool me. Now, you got to come to me straight up. So it's not a slant against mothers, because the same thing with girls. My girls could get over on me. I don't know when they get to a certain age, they start thinking thoughts, and I ain't never went through that. So I be calling them all, dude, come take care of this, because I ain't got no idea. And she be rough. Look, didn't I tell you? Oh, wow, I never thought to do that, but I couldn't do it no way. Especially, and they would get little whoopings from me. But when my thing was, when they start developing, you keep hands off, bruh. In fact, I never really whooped my kids once they got past 6 or 7 years old anyway. Then they ain't doing them good. You just abusing them. Because that whooping now is making them mad. But if you get them when they little and make sure they know there's consequences, bad consequences when you do stuff you ain't supposed to do, they pretty much get away from it. And then you can just give them that parental look. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, I always make sure that you prepare, and make sure that when you use those teaching aids, that they are short, useful. You can use games, you can use songs, you can use whatever, but make sure that they're short and they don't completely interrupt with what you're trying to teach that day. I always use as many teaching. Again, back to the teaching aids. Always strive for and maintain excellence. You don't settle for nothing. There's a thing down there that says always congratulate effort. That's the one after the next one. But congratulate effort. When folks come and they try, you see them trying to do it, and they ain't quite got it, you congratulate. Boy, you really knocked this one out today. Now tomorrow, we getting ready to step to another level. Always pushing, for excellence, but always congratulating what they do. So you got, and we used to put together little stuff. I don't know if the congratulating thing, it says develop a monthly or weekly Soldier of the Month award, the Soldier of the Week award, and make sure that everybody get a chance to have the Soldier of the Week, get their picture, upon the thing, Soldier of the Week, so when their parents come to pick them up, say, "Mama, I'm the Soldier of the Week." Yeah, all right. But just stuff to just kind of push them to want to do better. Always be positive. Encourage students to see their genius and to use it. Point to their intelligence in other endeavors. Boy told me he was his brother sold weed. I said, "What else?" He said, "I don't sell nothing but weed." I said, "So you see him doing it?" He said, "I help him." I said, "What?" He said, "Well, he buy it in bulk, and we sit down and we break it down into kilos and ounces and little bags and stuff." What I'm saying, and you sitting there telling me that you got problems in math. Don't you know those are mathematical equations you're doing when you putting that weed together? All you gotta do is make the teaching real to them, and then they start seeing it in a different way. 'Cause I knew guys who couldn't add or subtract, but they could shoot dice, and they knew when they rolled out. They knew when they hit their point. But dominoes. You just got to make that stuff real to them. And once you do that, they don't forget that, man. That's when it really becomes something that they know they can use. I said always congratulate efforts. Always promote Pan-Africanism. Remember, we're trying to develop them into the soldiers that's going to push this struggle forward. So you always got to just keep pushing it. And you got to keep showing them. You got to keep showing them that our people are struggling and suffering over here. Our people are struggling. See, brother right there, Brother Heru. Brother Heru has been working in Tanzania. And he put together, he was one of the ones that worked to put together a clean water unit in the village that he's working in. See, those are the kinds of things we want to show our youth. You see how people are struggling? You see how people what we can do to help that? Only thing they needed, they had the crew to do it. They had the understanding on how to do it. They didn't have the money to get it done. Heru called over here and said, "Look, we need money to get this thing done." We sent the money, it's done. So we got to make sure that we take those kinds of opportunities to show folks that we are Pan-Africanists and we ain't playing with it. We are seeking to make sure that our people everywhere understand that we their brothers and sisters, and that because we're their brothers and sisters, when they got a problem, we got a problem. So we got to always just push that all of the time. So with that, I'm gonna. I got 5 to 12. With that, I'm gonna stop the whole piece for the first session, and just see if anybody got any questions or anything they want to ask about until I just tell y'all what we're gonna do next time. Yeah, that's what I just told folks. I did not. In fact, I did not. You can't do it. You can't do it real quick.
I got it.
Because you got to do
Just do the first
one
session.
at a yeah, but
We had the other sessions.
yeah, we don't have the other ones. Yeah, but you just got to do one at a time.
I mean, if you just.
I'm gonna get everybody's email address. We should have had. I got something shoot upstairs. Sean, you still upstairs?
Well,
I'm just saying, I'm gonna get y'all's email. Y'all all have this, right? Okay.
yeah,
So y'all
would that work? Would that work if
wanna-
he emails it to you?
that's fine.
Okay, but this is only the session 1, today's session. For all 6 sessions, I got stuff for you. So when we come back together again, I will have the entire packet for you, and I'll put it in a little notebook for you, so you can, just be able to thumb through it how you want to. But yeah, because it does have a lot of stuff in there that you can look at. It's got stuff on Pan-Africanism. It's got stuff on being African-centered. Those kinds of things. All of those things that we talked about the Wanimus and stuff. It's all in there. Now the next time, I think the next time we're going to deal with, I believe it's pedagogy, the science of teaching. And then I think we get into rites of passage, I can't remember the exact layout right now, but every time we get to a different segment, everything will be in that book for you, and I have it in order so that you know exactly what we getting ready to go to next. But this one, I needed to get this one off the ground first of all because I needed to make sure that y'all knew. I needed to make sure that y'all knew who we as an organization were, what we're doing, why we're doing it, so that you wouldn't, if you had any qualms about being part of this thing, you know this is the time for you to make it up in your mind. I ain't fooling with them, you know. But if you're saying, okay, that's cool, that's what I've been thinking about, that's what I've been wanting to do, then keep on. You know, I'm not saying that you'll go through the whole thing feeling that way, but you know, as long as you feel that way, keep on. One of the things we ain't gonna, if you want to know something, we ain't gonna never tell you no lies. Cause one thing I found out about lies that you get found out sooner or later. You know, and a lot of times when you tell a lie, you got to tell another lie to cover up the lie, that you told in the first place. And by the time you get busted, the consequences are worse than if you just told the truth from the beginning. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell you what's up. So if you really feel like this is where you want to be, that's cool. Let me say a little thing about I see the money getting passed around. Let me say a little thing about the money. We are trying to make sure that we can take care of this thing, the materials and all that kind of stuff. And dollars is hard to come by, especially for a group like ours, because ain't nobody getting ready to give us no funding to teach what we teaching to these kids. They be like, hell, you think I'm getting ready? One of the things we know about the oppressor is that they would never teach the oppressed how to get rid of oppression. And so one of these times, well, not one of these times, because we've always been coming under attack, but we're going to come under extreme attack when we get to a certain point. So not only are they not going to give us no money, they might try to put a whooping on us. So we are asking folks to give the monies for these materials. However, if you decide to stay with the organization, to begin to teach youth, the money is refundable. We give you that money back. Because really, the money is important, but it ain't as important as us having some people dedicated to go out there and teach these children. You know, and like I was telling brother earlier today, he got a bunch of children in his house, just like I have. I used to have. See, if he decide, man, I don't want to go out there and deal with them little knucklehead kids out there in the street, but I'm gonna take what you gave me and use it in my house. Cool. Ain't no problem with that. But I am saying I really want folks to come and be part of our teaching staff because we need it. We really do need it. Anything else on anybody's mind? Anything at all? Everybody all right with coming here? I'll make sure. Let me tell you. I've been having some things happen in my life lately that haven't been cool and been taking a lot of my attention. My mama got sick and they saying that she's terminal. So me and my brother, we've been just rallying around mama trying to take it. And a lot of the stuff that I usually have done for these trainers, I ain't done. I just ain't had time to do it. And I'm not that well myself. And so the stress from mama being sick has me stressful. And I'm, a lot of times I come in the house and I just go in the bedroom and just fall out in the bed. When I wake up, I'm also a dialysis patient. When I wake up, it's time for me to go on dialysis. I don't have time to do nothing. So, but it's coming around. We starting to get we starting to be able to deal with mama getting ready to die, or they saying mama getting ready to die, and as that goes along, I will be stronger and I'll be able to make sure all of this stuff is ready. But it ain't gonna stop us from doing our work. I don't care what happens. As long as I can draw breath in this old broke down body, I'm gonna be standing up trying to do work for my people. I just can't. And the reason that I gotta do that because it's in me now. But when folks like y'all come around, I gotta show y'all, you just can't stop this. You can't stop. I think I'm 67, 68 years old. And I ain't getting ready to stop. I'm getting ready to push through this thing. And I have mentors that have died doing their work. I mentioned Kwame Ture. Kwame Ture was getting ready to go to Libya. He had cancer, like I got. He's getting ready to go to Libya, and I think it was Ronald Reagan that said nobody can go to Libya. That was when they was having problems with Gaddafi and stuff. And Kwame was saying, nobody can tell me I can't go to my homeland. I'm going to my homeland. And one of our workers, Bob Brown, he got the plane, and the plane was ready. And Bob said, man, I went back to get Kwame. Kwame was dead. But till the day he died, he ready to go do the work. You know, and when you be around folks like that and you see them fight to the last breath, I be saying, man, I can't quit. How can I quit? You know, so I ain't no better than they were. So I'm here to stay. And so until I draw my last breath, and then once my last breath is drawn, then y'all got to deal with cadence. You know, hey Roo, y'all got to actually go. It's ongoing. It'll never stop. I tell my kids, me and my wife are fortunate. We got 15 grandkids, 8 great grandkids, and I be telling them, I ain't gonna never die. They say, oh, Bobby, you got to die. So I'm saying I ain't gonna die because I'm gonna teach y'all what I know, and y'all gonna be doing it when I'm gone. So I ain't gonna be dead. I'm gonna still be here. You know, we gotta just keep spreading this stuff, and that's really what this whole thing is about. All right. In the packet, I'm gonna make sure. I want to make sure that everybody can. Does everybody have a phone number for me? I want to make sure y'all write it down. I usually have it on the packet when I had a packet down there. It will be on the packet when y'all get one. But I just want to make sure if anybody had any questions, anything they want to ask, you can just call. And it don't make no difference what time, because I keep the cell phone all the time. Even when I'm on dialysis now. Now, if I'm getting on dialysis, sticking needles in my arm and stuff, I won't answer it then. But once I get on dialysis, then if my phone ring, I'll answer it. You know, we can kick it a little bit. But that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy talking with folks, especially young folks, man. I know when I say young folks, I'm talking about folks who are younger than me. Because I know our future is in y'all's hands. You know, now I ain't no soldier no more. You know, they used to say a general is just an old timer who all he can do is give orders and put together plans. You know, I used to laugh at that all the time. Hell, I'm a general now. so I know. So y'all are the warriors. Y'all the ones who y'all running on the streets. So anything y'all need to ask me, anything you want to know, just ask me. And because I done pretty much did most of it. You know, I almost got 50 years in with my wife. That's a long time to be a woman. So,
Bob, could you at least greet some of the people that's online?
oh, I forgot about the people online.
That's the beautiful thing about it.
I forgot all about the people. All y'all folks online. The next session is going to be next week, same time, 10 o'clock. We're going to deal with, I believe it's pedagogy. We're gonna look at that, and I invite you. Now you can come to my house, but if it's good for you to do it online, please do, and make sure. Do they know how to get the packet online?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you get the packet online, and we'll all of the packets for the whole thing is online, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we make sure you get everything, and you can follow us, and you can also look at the packet in your own time at your own discretion. But I want to just thank all of y'all for being there and putting up with us all of this time. Yeah, and you can't talk with us. We can only talk to you. So I appreciate you listening. And but next time, we'll be a lot more prepared, and I won't forget you next time. I did when I got people sitting around me. Sometimes I forget that I'm talking to this microphone also. But I really appreciate y'all being here, and we need you. We need you to become Walimus in our program, and I hope you certainly do consider it. And at some time, we'll put something together where all of us can get together and just kind of kick it a little bit. So,
It's 10 a.m. Eastern time.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Messed up.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so if you're not in the Eastern time zone, 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, with that, I want to close the training by thanking you all again, those here and those online, for being here. And I want y'all to just stay strong. Come back again with us next Saturday. Hotel. All right, man.